Have I ever told you guys about how much I love mornings? It is I guess you could call it a beautiful, crisp, cold, frosty morning. But today, we're starting the day in Delaware, flying back to Ohio, trying to pick up Fool's Gold, and seeing if we can somehow do all of this and be ready to race in Rockingham this weekend, where apparently it's supposed to be like 75 Saturday. So I'm feeling much better about that, because I don't know if you guys can see all this frost out here. Not a very good time. So today's game plan: fly to Ohio, pick up the Nova, fix the Nova. I don't even know what's wrong with it anymore. I hate mornings. But we're going racing this weekend. So let's get on a plane and let's get to work.
Nice the front end works on that car.
Perfect. I don't think we need to change anything suspension wise.
God, that thing works nice.
We added 6 more to it.
God, that thing works nice.
All right, so we've made it to Rockingham, and things are going pretty well. You know, the fixes on the Nova from Lucor are amazing. We did some shock adjustments, we did some power management adjustments, we did some tire pressure adjustments. We still have to do more, don't get me wrong, but the Nova is running better than it ever has ever. Flat out, suspension's working better than it has, steering's working better than it ever has, everything is going well. So last night I made a few hits on the street, and I just did it on motor. Now I made the first one just on motor, real calm, just because I wanted to make sure the car goes straight. We hadn't had a chance to test it since all the new steering stuff was in. And man, that thing went right down that road. Got a little bit into the other lane, but I think that was, you know, partially my fault, and maybe didn't have the steering wheel straight and everything else. That road is got some crown to it too. There's some things, but it's okay. I was able to correct it, stay in it. It was good. Second pass, I turned it up just a little bit on motor, and right down again, like clockwork, worked so much better. and it was just beautiful. So what we didn't get to do last night was test with the nitrous. I didn't have a torch because I left it here. So Chris, shout out Stripper Glitter, had brought me a new torch. So he went to Walmart today, got me a new torch. What we'd like to do, I'm not really sure. There's a street race that's probably going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to participate in that just yet. I really, really want to focus on doing well here at Rockingham. I think that this is the best opportunity I've ever had. I think the car is working better than it ever has, and it sucks. I'm torn because I know if I put it on the street and turn it up, it's going to take it and we're going to ride out and this thing's going to be flying, which I really want to do. But I really want to do well back here on the back end of the track for the race. So it's a tough decision because you got to think, you know, fuel, nitrous, how many passes on the tires. The tires, these are used tires that came off the Falcon. So, you know, even like last night I made 2 and Rob was like, well, let's turn it up even more. And I said, I don't want to, just because here's the thing. I know what it's going to do. It's just going to keep going a little bit faster and faster and faster. And, you know, we can turn it up all the way on motor and it'll take it and that'll be fine. The thing is, that's not really going to help us Saturday. So it's just wear and tear on the vehicle. It's just wear and tear on the tires, wear and tear, you know, using up fuel, everything else. So I decided not to do it. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to get ready and I'm going to take this thing on a really crappy road because the road we were on was really good. I'm going to take this thing on a really crappy road and see if I can't make a hit, see if it goes A to B, see if the round 1 tune-up is right. And these guys just got back, so it looks like it's time to get the car ready, drive out there, go make a hit, see what happens, see if we're ready for round 1.
It's a 73 in it.
Was he spraying it the whole way?
Yeah, just sprayed it the whole way.
Dude.
I'd say that's a good first round tune-up.
Yeah. Should go.
It tried to get the tire a little bit, but it gathered it right up.
Yeah.
That shit looked really good. That looked like competitive. Like,
That's a good first round.
I wonder what it went.
We can build on that.
He ran it out the quarter mile.
It's pretty coarse, you know, it's pretty much
Yeah.
fucking rocks.
There's definitely more up there than there is here. That was good. That's what we needed. Good shit. Yeah. Looked a little fat when he grabbed the button though.
Yeah.
I mean, it cleaned up, but
Maybe get the bottom pressure a little higher next time.
it was at 1,000.
That's probably fine then.
Well, it probably purged down to probably 975, 950. I'd say probably,
Well, fat's gonna keep it from losing the tire.
right. I'd say we start with that first round. That's good.
How much was he pulling? How much timing?
It's pulling 8 degrees right now every 2.5 seconds. And then the nitrous ramp is on over 3 seconds. They had just a little bit of boost before we got it.
After I shifted to high gear, I grabbed the button and put it all the way out.
It sounded fat.
It is.
Where'd it go?
720 to 108.
Well, an hour better than last night.
That's rated. Yeah, it should be.
That road's really bad. Say that.
It tried to lose the tire.
It tried.
It tried to lose the tire after the first revolution. It tried to lose the tire, but it gathered it back up. I don't know if you shifted it right then. So you ran first out to the light.
I didn't run it out to the light, but I ran it out pretty far. And then I was like, all right, it's going. Let me slap it high and grab the button and see what the fuck happens.
Did you feel a difference when you grabbed it?
Yeah, it turns on.
I think it would have taken in low gear. Once it was rolling, you could have grabbed the button and shifted it, and it probably would have rolled better out the back.
Yeah, I could have been on the nitrous a lot sooner.
Just pull it down to the converter.
All right, so we've ultimately made the decision. Actually, I didn't make the decision. Meatball made the decision. I called her, said, hey, should I street race the car tonight? She said yes. So we're gonna take Fool's Gold, we're gonna turn it up, and we're gonna go put it down the street. I'm not sure if I'm gonna jump in the shootout or just try to grudge race some folks or what. We'll figure that all out in a little bit. I gotta figure out what the buy-in is and all that kind of stuff. But the car's going straight. Since we've been in the Carolinas, I've made 3 A to B straight passes. You know, and any corrections that I've had to do have worked well. I haven't had to lift. You know, I sprayed it on a dog terrible ass road and it worked. Nothing bad happened. We're gonna keep rocking and rolling because I've got some future plans of stuff that I want to do, and I think we can start working on those tune-ups tonight. So that's gonna be the game plan. Time to get wild, hit the streets, and make it happen.
Well, you keep going any lower, you're gonna tickle something else.
Problem.
11.
I'm about to just give you my cell phone number so we can just text me. Dr. Ryce in the right line?
Matt Ryce.
Yes, Dr. Ryce. Did you get me?
Why am I a doctor? I'm a king, not a doctor.
12s. Alright, so recap from the weekend. First things first, we went testing Thursday. We gonna talk about that or no?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it. We got down there, and normally they do the street race earlier than they did. So, but they didn't this time, so we had an opportunity, and I still hadn't tested to see if the car would go straight, had new gear, everything else.
Yeah, that was the first thing I wanted to do when we got there, was just to make hits on all the cars. It's been cold up here in Ohio. We haven't really been able to make any hits on them. So we went out to the street spot that they usually race on. And even though it's a better road than what is at the track, it was, you know, a road that we could go to and sit there for a while and race, you know, and test.
And just try to figure out the A to B tune-ups. We weren't trying to light the world on fire or anything else. Just wheel speed, will it go? What is it going to do? You know, and make sure, just shake it down. Everything was good. So,
how'd you feel about your new gear and everything?
The new gear was wild because initially the first burnout I did was definitely, I screwed up my first burnout, but it was because that 373 reacted so differently. It didn't do the same thing it's been doing. So, but that's why we went out and tested. I wanted to know what it was going to do, and did that. Made a pass on motor. It went super straight. It went a lot faster than I thought it was going to go. Especially, I mean, we were doing round 1 tune-up for dig or die, so it was still had a lot of power pulled out of it and everything else. But we played with tire pressure. We got that to a point where I felt it was pretty good, and it went straight. The gear worked. I had no complaints about that.
Yeah, I mean, our first hits that we made on the street, the street was, it was junk. It was dirty, so we knew if we could get down and have a tune-up for the first hits on the street on all 3 cars, that should work for first round at Rockingham. So we definitely knew that should work.
Yeah, we were going in with quite a bit of confidence.
Yeah, and then even still, then Friday during the day before we went to the street race, I went out to the other street in front of the track and made a hit and turned the nitrous on because we didn't use any nitrous that first night. I had forgot the torch, and we made 2 passes on motor, turned it up just a little bit. I know Rob wanted to make more, but I was like, it's just going to go faster. We know what it's going to do. I was concerned about fuel and tire wear and everything else, and I wasn't sure if anybody was selling fuel at the track, so I wanted to just be careful on how much we put on the car beforehand. But then Friday went out, made a hit on an absolutely terrible road, which was probably worse. It was.
I mean, it made one maybe 2 revolutions of the tire. It tried to get on the tire, but it gathered itself up perfectly, really, for that surface.
And I was able to hit the button.
And he was able to hit the button and stay on it and shift the car, and I mean, straight A to B from basically the tune-up that we had on the good road, pretty much. I mean, we changed the timing just a little bit for out there, but nothing drastic.
It wasn't crazy, but that's when I started feeling really confident, because I was like, it wasn't what I wanted, but it was a lot faster than I'd ever gone at Rockingham.
And now you're going dead straight 4 times in a row. That's never happened. So
Right,
you're like, we're definitely doing something right.
I mean, overall, it was a great weekend because we didn't know what the Nova was going to do, and a huge shout out to Lucor on that.
Oh yeah.
They got that thing lined out pretty good. I mean, Matt can drive it one-handed with his finger on the button.
We'll talk about that later.
and it's before we pretty much redeemed ourselves on that from the weekend before at Darlington when the car spun in a circle. Matt drifted the car, but
I think it proved the thing that I've been saying for a while, that there's something wrong with the car. I'm not just.
I was starting to think you were just a really bad driver.
Right.
I think a lot of people were like, stay away from Matt. Like, spin out.
And there was just.
I'm not scared to race next to you now.
No.
I know there was a few people that had talked to me and they were like, oh, I'm afraid to line up next to him because I seen what the car did at Darlington and and I was just reassured him. I'm like, look, everything is brand new on the front of this car, and it should go A to B no matter what. If it doesn't go A to B, then I mean, it's almost like
Then I am
throw
really
the
bad.
yeah.
Right?
It's almost just like it is really that, you know, he's a bad driver, but you know, to make a hit on that surface that we were at Friday or Thursday testing,
Yeah.
and literally, I mean, we put you in the left lane, and the left lane is crowned more than anything, and the car went straight down the lane, no matter what. So, I mean, either way, we won because we made what, like 6 A to B
I
passes.
think we made more passes in North Carolina than people who won the race.
Yeah, pretty much.
The first round, I was supposed to race a guy who was actually a big tire, had a black, like 80s, 70s.
Split bumper.
Don something like that.
Yeah, Don something. And so I guess what ended up happening, I wasn't even sure if I was going to race because this whole thing had gone crazy. Like when we finally went to make your pass, this was after we had put it back on the trailer and we thought we were going somewhere else. So then when you pulled up, I was behind you and there was no space for you to get off the trailer. So I had to pull off, go around, go all the way to the finish and then turn around and park off to the side of the road because I wasn't getting through that crowd.
And by this time we start. What time we start? Like 10 o'clock.
And it's
We
like
start
10, 11 o'clock, and this
We
is like
started at
2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we've only to 5 pairs, and we had like 26 cars or something like that. Well, it's supposed to be 26 cars, but a bunch of guys had left after the first debacle and all that stuff. So
that's
we
what
ended up with like
happening.
12, I think it was, and then
No, everybody stayed.
Everybody stayed actually.
everybody did.
Everybody
stay?
stayed.
Oh, I
The
thought-
only
I
the
thought a
only
bunch
guy
left.
nope, the only guy that didn't stay was the guy that I raced, and he ended up not bringing his car back, so he raced me in a dually. Like, so we ended up turning it up a little bit because we thought the road was really good, and even though it was, I got crooked in the burnout, and when I did, all that trash and all that shit on the ground got on the tire. So I launched, it spun a little bit, I pedaled it, stayed in it, grabbed the nitrous. Because I was doing so much and not knowing where the 373 gear was on the nitrous, I forgot to shift, so I bounced it off the limiter once or twice, hit the shift, and then at that point I was like, I'm racing a dually. Like, what? I could just let out. Like, I've already won.
Yeah, if you accidentally cross, like
Right, yeah, like that'd have been so horrible. Like, why even go through that? So it was nice to even be able to have the thought process, like, you know, you already won.
Right.
And,
you got your data for the most part.
Right. So we got that figured out, and then we went back and drew for round 2, and then you were still before me in round 2, weren't you?
I think so. I think I
Yeah,
was
you were
one of
first pair.
first pair,
round
second
two.
round.
So then I ended up getting paired up with Jonathan McElroy, handicap, which is cool because he's been asking me to race for like ever. Like last year when I was at that spot, he wanted to race me last year when I had the LS nitrous. And so, you know, I think the problem, I probably shouldn't have. I ended up turning it down on the hit a little bit just because I was worried about what happened spinning the tires. And that was just a little miscommunication deal because we had so much stuff going on at once, and then my car was all the way back there, and you
And
know,
I had talked to him too, and he said his has come a long way
oh,
from what it was. He was having problems,
yeah,
and he finally switched over to the methanol and
yeah,
all that stuff, and he's finally.
I gotta
said
give
he's
him
finally
credit
getting
too. He
away.
can drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can.
For being
he-
only able to use his arms, like
Right.
I don't know if I could do that, man.
he was driving his ass off, and we got out together and probably hung together for a little while, and then I just got turbo fucked, and he was gone. So, but it was a good race, clean race, so I was happy with it. And at this point, we're now 4 or 5 passes into all the changes and everything actually doing what it's supposed to do. And
You were
still-
competitive.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
You were a legit competitor in that race, in both races all weekend.
right. So it was nice to do that. Like, it was a great sigh of relief.
And in big terms, I mean, that was like, we won the weekend. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't have to do anything really but put fuel in the car.
I mean, before that, I wouldn't trust that car to stay between the 2 lanes on that road, let alone the one.
Damn straight on that one, yeah.
And went right on through there, tight lanes, didn't have any problem, you know, it's got a little bit of a crown, so like, when we look at the videos probably from the daytime race, you can see I still drive a little bit, but it's just,
it's not this.
right, yeah, it's here
just
to here.
this.
It's here to here,
Yeah.
and keeping it just riding that crown and riding that line and everything else. So, but I ended up going out, and at this point I was pretty tired, so I was like, cool, let's get on the trailer and let's see if we can help Billy win.
Yeah, and I didn't.
So, but it was a good race Friday night. We had a good time. We didn't get back till, I don't know, 6 a.m. something.
Yeah, I think we finally laid down at like 6:30.
Yeah. So.
And up again at, I think,
I was up at
9:30.
9:30 and woke you guys up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we gotta get the cars checked in.
I went straight from bedhead to tech.
Bedhead to tech. So
Yeah.
we'll get into that in the Rockingham video, and we'll start telling stories from that day, from Saturday. But you know, another great night racing on the street. I'm getting more competitive. You got some stuff to figure out, but we're figuring it out.
We were able to let that button heat straight from the roll, straight from the dig.
No, we weren't at that point yet. That's Sunday.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
get
edit that
into
part out. Cut.
Cut.
No, close it out.
Close it out.
All right, thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe to DNR Auto and Street Racing channel. We'll see you next time.
What's going on, guys? I just wanted to let you know, I know a lot of people have been on SHITBOXSupply.com trying to get their orders in. We have just restocked. We have SHITBOX merch. We have Jax Mafia merch. We've got hoodies, t-shirts, zip up, everything. And the brand new Fool's Gold Edition adjustable wrench is on the site now. So hop on www.shitboxsupply.com and go get your stuff now. It's going to be crazy shipping this time of year. It always is. The sooner you order, the sooner we can get it to you and hopefully make it by Christmas. I know Allison's going to be working hard, trying to get caught up with stuff we have from the last couple weeks, and we're going to be hitting the ground running super soon. So make sure you guys get on the website if you were thinking about it. If you're looking for your size, everything's updated now and in stock. So go get it before we run out again, and it's probably your last chance to get it before Christmas. Thanks.